Welcome to episode 2 of Stu and Dave Do America. I'm Stu Burguiere, joined as always by my co-host Dave Landau, and we do
Howdy.
Hi. Wow, that was very friendly.
Thank you.
We do, before we get started, have something we want you to see.
And while today's true cost of living measure confirms that the affordability crisis touches every corner of our city, we know that these effects are not applied evenly.
No.
So often it is black and brown New Yorkers who are hit the hardest.
Shocked.
The
This
knockout
preliminary
game.
racial equity plan is the first step in developing a whole of government approach to tackling that reality. It is a plan that lays out these first steps to solve decades of neglect and discrimination. And it places the work of 45 city agencies within a singular framework.
I can't imagine that going anything other than perfect, Dave.
I think it's great. He wants to fix decades of discrimination by commencing it with decades of discrimination.
That's the only way. It's the Ibram Kendi way of doing things, right?
It's the good kind of
The only way
discrimination.
to fix past discrimination is with future discrimination.
That's how you should do it.
That's how you should do it.
That's
Perfect.
how I feel about it.
I love that though. It's the whole country, the whole world is devastated by this affordability crisis. But we want to make sure we're only dealing with black and brown people.
Well, that's the most important part. And there's a huge business exodus in New York City right now. And it turns out all these people are looking forward to moving to Iran because there's been a recent glut of available real estate.
It certainly is.
So enjoy that.
Yeah, it's gonna might be a little bit less real estate apparently by tomorrow. We'll get into that a little bit. But first, we're going to get started by doing Gavin Newsom's wife. I will Dave, I start with a little bit of bias here.
Yes.
I don't like Gavin Newsom at all.
I hate him.
Okay, we're on the same page on this.
I think he does a great job if you want your city to burn to the ground.
Right. Yes.
He's pretty good at that.
He's proven that already multiple times in the state.
Also, somehow giving, billions of dollars to homeless people without housing one of them.
Right.
And the brilliant plan of if you let a homeless person live with you, they'll give you some kind of tax credit.
Yes. Yeah, that's a great idea.
He's good for squatters, too.
Great for squatters.
Yeah.
Great if you're a huge fan of human excrement on sidewalks.
Then
Gavin's your guy.
He's your guy.
Yeah.
He's your president.
We should talk. There's a guy who's been covering all of Gavin Newsom's stuff that he does. Not a fan. We had him on Stu Does America, and we should have him on at some point because he's like maniacally focused on this guy and all the stuff that he's done. And one of the things he's pointed out is for over a decade, he's been giving speech after speech after speech about how in a decade he's going to fix the homelessness problem. And it's all times that are now longer than a decade ago, and he's got all the clips. It's really amusing.
Well, the only time he did anything about it was who came from China? With the somebody visited from China, and all of a sudden, all the homeless people disappeared.
It was the Olympics, or it was something. It was some. Was it the? I remember this whole scandal because all of a sudden it was cleaned up for a weekend.
Yeah, they just disappeared. Like they just rounded them into warehouses and then let them out after.
That's how this works.
He's seriously a terrible person.
Terrible person, and it's so fake, right? This persona he's putting on right now, which is obviously built for social media clicks, this thing where
Total douchebag?
Yeah, total douchebag, right? Like he's trying to be, I think he thinks he's come up with a hack, which is Donald Trump is a jerk to people. I should also do that. I'm comfortable doing it. But he's trying about 8 different personas on at the same time. And it never really seems to work. I can't believe the American people would fall for this. But then again,
I believe they could.
really?
Yeah, I have no faith in a lot of people. Most people.
Most people.
Almost, not all of you. Most of you I like. But yeah,
There's like 4 of you out there that Dave trusts
maybe.
in like Iowa. There's 4 people in Iowa that Dave trusts.
Maybe in Iowa.
Maybe in Iowa.
I got 4 in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't like the guy. I think everything he says he's done nothing to benefit that state.
No.
Except drive them into bankruptcy and debt. And I still can't get over, because I was in L.A. when the fires were happening. when they took out, all of Malibu and the Pacific Palisades.
Who needed it, though?
You didn't need it.
Who needed it?
And they're going, look, we don't have any water. And I'm thinking, the ocean's right there.
It's right there.
And they're like,
you can see it. The reason why this house is valuable is because you can see the water from the house.
Yes, that's exactly why the real estate. Yeah. And they said, look, if we take the salt water, it's going to ruin the land. Like, as much as the fire ripping through it. And then, of course, the mayor at the time, which just happened to be going to, I don't know,
Bass,
wherever the Lion King was supposed to be, and went to a wedding there.
Yeah. Mustafa, there was a visit there. It was nice.
It's all he is a sociopath.
He is. And nobody loves Gavin Newsom more than Gavin Newsom.
Oh, by far.
He absolutely adores himself. He's a guy that, should be dealing with some of the past scandals in his own life. Not to mention things, that, like in governance, like the high-speed rail, which is a complete catastrophe. He's also famous for sleeping with his best friend's wife. Which,
yes.
They're no longer best friends, I should point out.
That'll do that.
That'll do that.
That will dampen. Well, I shouldn't say dampen. No. But there's plenty of dampness.
Yes.
But it will hurt a relationship.
It will, right? There's like a guy code element. It's like you shouldn't cheat on your wife. You shouldn't do a lot of things, but like your best friend's wife is really a line you're supposed to stay a good distance from.
It's good to not bang her unless it's a Lifetime movie.
That's true.
Then it's fine.
Much better for a plot.
I feel like he has a whole bunch of mirrors in his house, so he can flex, though.
Oh, yeah.
While he has sex with whoever.
Mm-hmm.
His wife, his best friend's wife, whose
ever wife he happens to hook up with. It is, the American Psycho thing is real with him.
Yes.
Right? Like, it's not just that he looks a little bit like Patrick Bateman in the movie. It's really who the man is.
It's who I think Patrick Bateman is in the novel. Is actually how you would envision that character.
Draw this distinction from the movie, because I don't know that everyone read the book.
Well, if the book is far worse and more gross and creepier and more about a narcissist, more about a sociopath, more about greed, 80s greed. It's the movie is better. Even the author will say that. The author saw the movie and was like, okay, this Christian Bale's Patrick Bateman. This was amazing.
Yeah.
But it's just darker, and the way that it's so much darker reminds me that that's who Gavin Newsom actually is.
I saw the movie. As I point out, I did not read the book. It was darker than that, but it was darker than the movie.
Way darker.
Way darker.
Yes.
Wow.
You couldn't film most of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the stuff they did film is surprising.
Yeah, I mean, they went pretty far.
A lot of sex murder.
That's
what I call it.
Combining those two together. It's a flavor that some appreciate, but usually people try to stay away from it.
But Gavin Newsom savors.
Loves it.
A flavor he savors.
What I love about this,
yes,
and because we're not even doing Gavin Newsom, we're doing Gavin Newsom's wife.
Correct.
Here. It's important to note.
Hard.
What she does not appreciate it. She did not agree to this whole situation, so we apologize to Gavin Newsom's wife in advance here. But what's interesting about her is that he has spent so much time putting together this persona to try to win the 2028 presidential election.
Right.
He's been running for this, I would say, since at least 2022. I mean, outwardly running for the office, and before that, putting a lot of the pieces in order to put together an eventual presidential run.
Oh, yeah. He's been definitely leaving hints, and now it's been very obvious.
Right. Like running ads for himself in Florida when he's not running for a race in Florida. Strange, right? Not the normal thing that you would do.
Well, when you're stealing all that money, you got to spend it somewhere.
Right, exactly. So what I love about this, though, is he's married someone who is Jennifer Newsom, who is very much a prototypical, like, feminist left-wing nut job.
Yes.
And that's not you wouldn't say that's out of character for someone like Gavin Newsom, right? Like, that's kind of who you expect him to marry. But remember, he was dating Fox News personalities. Like, was he married to Kimberly Guilfoyle at one point? I don't know if they were married or dating.
I know they were dating. I don't know.
Like, he wasn't always, and he's been going on these right-wing podcasts. He had Charlie Kirk on in the last months of his life on his podcast. And it was like, oh, my son loves you. Like, he's trying so hard to relate to anyone outside of California leftists.
Well, except to Rogan. He's very mad at Rogan because Rogan's criticized him so much.
Yes.
He's like, I'll have a debate any time. And Joe's like, I don't want to talk to you.
Right. Why would you?
Yeah.
Why would you want to
I know
talk
what
to him?
you did. It's why I left your state.
Right. And by the way, we've noticed with people like Gavin Newsom, when you turn your back on them, a lot of times a knife winds up coming into either the back or the back of the head.
Real hard.
Real hard. So I want to profile a little bit Jennifer Newsom. She's been very active. She's been talking a lot, and this has to be infuriating to Gavin. But here is what she described as far as their parenting goes. It's an interesting tactic. Listen.
I've given our boys dolls, even if they tear the head off. I've given them dolls to learn that care and caregiving is not just an activity that's reserved for women, but that it's also an activity that is a responsibility of men. What I've done with both my daughters and my sons is if I'm reading a book and the protagonist is a male, I just change the he to a she.
Oh,
and it just normalizes for my sons in particular. I don't even just do it for my girls. I do it for my sons because I want them to see that women can be the center of a story, that women matter, that women are interesting.
Like Matilda?
At the end of the day, we're all kind of like in this place in history maybe where we're recognizing what it is to ultimately deconstruct all these gender roles and ultimately be human. And that's exciting to me. So, I'll just continue to kind of do my work and try and deconstruct all of these like limiting narratives about ultimately what it means to be human.
Wow, I can't.
There's a lot there.
How are you going to do well in school when you're just making up stuff?
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to do? Book reports on Jamaica and her giant peach?
Right.
If you give a hoe a cookie? Or you have Christy Wonka in the chocolate factory? Which is probably smart, because I have a feeling her kids are going to be spending a lot of time in chocolate factories, if you get my drift.
No, I don't.
Homosexuals.
Oh.
Not that that's bad. All I'm saying is the way that she talks, it makes me feel like, and I don't think being gay is a choice, but she makes me feel like being gay is not only a choice, but it's your parents' choice.
Well, it seems to be the one she's implementing here.
Yes, she's like, look, we should play with dolls. All women, all the protagonists in every novel should be women.
Yeah.
And which is great because they're going to end up on heroin, so it all kind of works out.
Yeah, that's true. I will say, too, the sort of original namesake of this particular program, Debbie Does Dallas, also had a female lead.
That's true.
And so,
see, women have been in a lot of stuff. That's very notable.
Very notable.
Yeah, come on.
That's a bizarre thing, because you're not only playing the gender games with your kids there, you're actually misleading them about the book you're reading. You're telling them a counterfactual, which is, of course, perfect for someone like Gavin Newsom's family.
Yeah, she reminds me of like the wife of every super popular jock that met his wife in high school. And you just go like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Like, you're just here
Sign the contract early.
You're just here to serve a purpose. Like, you're not, and they want to sound interesting, but you just, like, she has a sign that says it's wine o'clock somewhere in her kitchen.
Oh, 100%.
She's just that woman.
Yes, 100%.
And there's no chance that she's either drunk, or not drunk, but she's either on wine or Xanax or both.
Both. Because my understanding is they will dissolve in the wine.
Many times they will just sprinkle it in.
Sprinkle it in.
See, Valium is not as popular as it once was.
No.
Now it's just the Xannies, and she proves it.
She does. She's also very much into sports, Dave. Very
cool.
Big sports. First of all, love every female sports broadcaster. That's my position. I don't know about you, Dave. I love all of them, and they don't ever seem out of place in a play-by-play situation. But let me first give you this from Gavin Newsom's wife, Jen Newsom, talking about sons, sports, and how gender works into that situation. Listen.
Cool.
My sons are really into sports, or so are my girls, but my sons will watch their favorite athletes on YouTube.
Right. Interesting anecdote.
And then all of a sudden you'll find this sort of alt-right, extreme, Jordan Peterson type speaking to my sons.
Jordan Peterson.
It's insane. No. Connected to the sports culture. That's not healthy. Are you kidding? So then our boys are learning hate, bigotry, misogyny, racism. So it's very dangerous, and I think we have to take responsibility, and we have to hold those in leadership in tech accountable. Because they're making all this money and they're leaving our world in a very, very dangerous place.
They're making money on stuff like Jordan Peterson, who might tell your kids to sit up straight, have good posture, and shake someone's hand firmly. It's terrible.
I have to be honest, I'm not sure what she said.
Okay.
I watched that same clip 3 or 4 times, and I have no idea. It always is this very blanket thing of now they're learning hate and bigotry, and that's why sports should involve everyone. What are you talking about?
I got more out of what you said than what she said.
What is the end game?
It seems to be to suck the idea of masculinity out of our society, because that is every instinct that a man might have is against their agenda.
Yes.
I mean, I think fundamentally that is the core. Now, whether Jen Newsom is in on the meetings enough to be thinking that way, I don't know. She might just be parroting what she hears.
Well, she is.
Yeah, okay.
There's no way she's had a thought herself.
Okay. You're convinced?
And if she is, the only thought she's had is, do you really think even to go back, she changes the name of the protagonist in books? She doesn't.
Yeah, right.
She's lying. She's lying because she somehow thinks that's going to make somebody like her.
Yes.
And it's not, no one does that.
This is fundamental to this entire movement, which is we oftentimes on the right will sit back and say, like, how can they believe this? How can they believe a man should play in women's sports? How can they possibly believe that you can change your gender by saying a sequence of magic words?
Right.
And the truth is they don't.
Exactly.
They are like us in that way. They also know what they're saying is a lie, but they're saying it for some other reason. They're pushing themselves into some sort of, happy flow, right? Where everyone agrees with them and it's the right thing to do, it's the right thing to say, it's the right thing to be. But they don't actually believe.
No, you're right. That's what it's become. It's like an algorithm where they want you to pay attention to this and think they actually believe this. That's how you get people out there to go protest, go insane, behave the way that they are, is by saying that you believe this insane stuff.
Yeah.
There's no way Gavin Newsom, if you look at the way that he carries himself behind closed doors, is like, let's make sure our kids have Barbie dolls. I guarantee you go into their house right now, there's none of that. But that's their job. That's why everything this thing is bad, because it causes bigotry. And they're white.
They are white.
They hate but they hate.
Another hot take, another Dave's
problem.
hot take. We need a new graphic made up of Dave's hot take.
But do you really
He's
care?
white.
All you do is complain about white people can't have all this, except me. I'm a good white.
Right.
That's all they're saying over and over again is what a great white savior they are.
It's true.
And it's so aggravating.
And while we're aggravated about it, and I agree with you, I would think the most aggravated about this would be a quote unquote person of color who has to sit here and be talked down to by it's one thing to be talked down to by Gavin, but to be also talked down to by Jen about all the things that they can't do, all the things they can't achieve without Gavin's help. It's got to be infuriating.
It is. It's just annoying. You don't want to sit there and listen to Gavin Newsom's wife tell you how you're supposed to feel or live. I think most people do, honestly, just want to go about their day. They just want to make sure that at the end of the day, they have a little bit of money saved up. They feel safe in their own country. They do want to get along with their neighbors in reality. And then there's this idea that there's always this colossal separation. And her talking about going back to when, it wasn't about race first. It's like, what do you mean, the 90s?
Oh, yeah. How about the 60s? How was that?
Yeah. It's crazy to me. She says nothing.
She does say nothing. By the way, we had about 6 more clips of her that we're not going to get to.
No,
that's perfect.
Do it now?
I think the less we actually hear from Jen, maybe the better.
I don't even mean to get upset.
Let me give you Matt Walsh's take on this. I want to get your opinion on this.
All right.
He articulated this pretty well, I think. Gavin Newsom's wife is awesome. She's the perfect feminist. Not only because she's constantly out babbling about how men are evil, also because her husband is trying to achieve something great, becoming president, and she is determined to put herself at the center of the story and absolutely destroy his dream in the process. If Newsom's presidential ambitions are dashed, his wife will be the main reason. It's great. A very instructive cautionary tale for young men. Never marry a feminist. She will ruin your life, guaranteed. Dave?
I'm going to have to agree. I'm not even sure if she's a feminist, though. She's just a self-centered human being.
Yeah. Well, the self-importance of everything she says is key to it, right? It fuels every word out of her mouth.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody's going to fix racial relations, it's an attractive white blonde woman from California. I think that's who all people of color will rally behind.
I think so too.
Yeah, that's what they like the best.
Can I give you one more thing here, Dave, before we go to break? Because we have so much. Best known worst political spouses.
Okay.
First of all, the obvious Hillary Clinton. I think she would be the number. I don't know. And also Bill Clinton would also be a political spouse because of Hillary's success, at least in the Senate, Secretary of State.
He might be worse.
He might be worse.
Well, she's a bigger murderer, but he's more of a philanderer.
Right.
Alleged.
Yeah. And then they combine their forces likely on Epstein Island.
Talk about sex murder.
Yes.
That is their thing.
You got some Huey Lewis in the news just blasting as they're on the beaches of Epstein Island. That's a great scene.
Yeah. I don't know if they've had sex once, I think. Maybe.
Just the Chelsea.
I think that was a cup and eggs.
Okay.
That was an insertion. I think Bill looked at her and was like, I just can't get this up. Like, there's no way.
I'd like to know less about the process, frankly.
Yeah, that's true. I bet. Ugh.
How about Byron Nome? We talked about him yesterday. He's the guy, Kristi Noem's husband, with I think husband, but we got the big boobs and the nipples all over the place. Uma Abedin.
Well, with him, though, I kind of don't blame. Because wearing a circus clown amount of makeup and having huge tits did work for his wife. So maybe he just thought it would benefit him.
We could cancel that request to book Kristi Noem, I think.
We're not getting her?
I think she's coming up. Uma Abedin, wife of Anthony Weiner. I feel like I blame Weiner more than that, though. She has had quite the path here, Dave. I don't know if you remember this. She was working for Hillary. She was married to Anthony Weiner.
Yes.
Kept coming back. They kept...
his name is Weiner, and his favorite hobby is showing his penis to people.
Yes.
It's
odd.
It's weird. Like, you think you'd go against the grain. But
right.
You were like, look, I was born with the name.
Right.
And you're like, yeah, but is this Trader Joe's? Could you put it back in your pants?
The answer, unfortunately, no.
No.
But he wound up doing the text scandal, and then they wound up eventually breaking up. She finally got out of that situation. Now she's married to Alex Soros. Yes, she's a multi-billionaire.
Well, at least it's two moral people that she's been able to land with.
Really nailed it. And the last one I want to bring up is worst political spouse, Doug Emhoff.
Oh,
Kamala's man.
He looks like Bizarro Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
He wound up, if you remember, cheating on one of his spouses with a nanny.
Correct.
Which, of course, seems to be common when you have nannies.
Yeah, it really seems the only reason you hire a nanny is to have sex with her. It seems to be all people do.
It does, especially in politics.
Yes.
And then also, allegedly, was violent with one of his ex-girlfriends. A bunch of witnesses came out and talked about this at the time.
Yeah, they saw it.
That usually means it happened. He denies it.
Correct. As long as the guy, look, if they say he punched her, but he says he didn't, that's good enough for me.
For much of history, that was good enough for the guys.
I didn't touch her. I gotta go. I think if I can throw two into the ring,
please. Yeah.
If you don't mind. One is Bruce Schaefer.
Okay.
He was married to Georgia State Senator Nancy Schaefer. He shot her and then himself. So that's
suboptimal.
That's not a great spouse.
No. If you're looking for the ideal, that falls short.
Yeah, like I feel murder-suicide is not a good thing when it comes to marriage. It's not a good way for it to... They were in their 70s, too. You think you just wait it out. Yeah. But also, in May 2020, I say this, Gretchen Whitmer, do you know her?
Yeah, of course.
Stretch and Gretchen.
Yeah, I never called her that.
Do you know why?
I don't, and I'm not sure I want to know
because
why.
Because of all the suitors she's had. Stretch and Gretchen. Yep. That may not be accurate, but that's why I call her that. And her husband is Mark. It
wouldn't be that. Maybe
Mallory.
She was stretching the truth. It wouldn't be that. That's what I'm going to hope. That's what you mean.
I believe it is stretching the truth for them.
You've come up with
Stretch and Gretchen, I believe, is because she was a runaround Sue, if you will.
Okay.
A real.
Yes, you don't need to explain it further.
Okay.
I think people are aware.
Oh, you got it?
Yes,
okay, I just want to make sure.
No, thank you. I appreciate
I'm just
it.
saying,
Okay. Right into the water rather than leading me to it.
But one of my favorite things is during COVID, during all the mandates, he called a docking company, which is not him and another guy docking. It's a company where they put a boat in the water.
Okay.
And he called and he said, I'd like to get my boat in early. And they said, well, we can't due to the mandates.
Right. That your wife has implemented.
Right. And he said, well, what if I told you my wife was the governor? And the guy was like, then I would never let you dock here ever. And she tried to play it off as if it was some kind of joke.
Right.
It wasn't. It was him trying to use his wife's power. Also, she didn't take his last name.
Oh, really? It's
a real cuck move.
Yeah.
If you're like, this is my wife, and it's like either hyphenated or she has no respect for her husband. You're like, look, I'll take you, but I'm not gonna pretend like I have your last name. Mm-hmm. Come on, you've met guys like that.
Yes, I've heard that.
It's not progressive.
No.
It means you're a bitch.
All right, well, I think we've not only done Jen Newsom here. I think Gretchen Whitmer also got a few strays on that one. But we will come back with more in just a moment. All right. This is only show 2. We're already just stretching Gretchen. This message is brought to you by Raycon. I'm sure they're very happy about this right now. But some products start out like kind of as a nice idea, right? And they quietly become something you use every single day without thinking about it. That's what happened with my Raycon everyday earbuds. At first, it was like, I'll try these out. These seem pretty cool. Then they start showing up everywhere in my daily routine, walking, working, taking calls, even just zoning out for a few minutes whenever I need a break. Or back in the day when I didn't want to hear Glenn's voice anymore, you just pop those things in. Noise canceling takes care of it. You think the reason of this is it's pretty simple. Because they're designed to work with you, whatever you're doing. They sound great. Active noise cancellation is there for you when you want to tune everything out. And they also have awareness mode, so you can stay plugged into whatever's going on around you. They're comfortable enough that you don't have to feel like you take them out after 10 minutes. And the battery lasts really long enough that you're not constantly thinking about charging them. Mother's Day, around the corner. Great freaking gift. If you don't have them for yourself, first of all, buy them for yourself first.
What if mother is dead?
Less great gift because they won't appreciate them at all.
Okay.
So I would say if mom's dead, you might want to go a different direction.
Can I dress as mother and listen to them?
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely. It's 2026.
I know I got these for my son. They're awesome.
Yeah, they are great.
They're seriously sweet. Yeah.
Buy Raycon.com/Stu. Buy Raycon.com/Stu. Get 15% off the Everyday Earbuds Classic. And thanks so much to Raycon for sponsoring the program. Been some somewhat major developments in the Iran war over the past couple of days.
A little bit.
A little bit? You obviously follow this stuff. I think some people get the impression of Dave Landau as like a comedian. You're saying funny things. But like when we talk, we've had long conversations. You're super well read on a lot of stuff. Like,
Thank you.
It's true. It's like I don't know how closely you follow the day-to-day like twists and turns of the Iran war. Like where are you on that? Like, did you see Donald Trump's tweet this morning?
No, I was asleep this morning.
Okay.
What happened?
This will wake you up, I think.
What is it?
Why don't you read this?
You want me to read it?
You read this.
Okay,
This is Dave Landau reading Donald Trump's truth from this morning live for the first time.
A whole civilization will die tonight. Is this real?
This is real.
This is his tweet.
I will say, when I saw it, I did not think it was real.
There's no way. Okay. Oh my God. A whole civilization. Okay. A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again.
There's not even going to be a nice comeback for this place. It's dead, and it's never coming back.
They're dead, and you can't bring them back. I don't want that to happen. It sounds like you did, but it probably will. However,
this is a man, by the way, we should point out, Dave, has some control over whether that would happen or not, right?
He's the guy.
He's the guy.
He is the guy, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionarily wonderful can happen. Who knows?
Who knows?
We will find out tonight, one of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. Well, how are you going to bless them if you're going to wipe them off the planet?
Well, and I think it's funny because...
Is it only going to hit the Muslims?
It's only going to hit the bad ones. It's only hitting the bad ones.
A whole civilization will die tonight.
Yes. That's... There's not a lot of self-limiting in that statement.
No, I feel nobody looked at that and said, Mr. President, there's a way to do this in a way that's a little more gentle.
I think they did that in the first term. I don't think that's happening. And sometimes it's really great. I love the fact that no one's telling him to not do anything.
Oh no, I love the fact that I just got to read this.
It's great.
As a comedian, I couldn't be happy. If I was an Iranian, I would be scared.
And that's the thing, I think, with Trump. It's important to understand, because this is obviously a serious issue. We've had, servicemen die. They've had lots more people pass away. And it's true. The sentiment that's stuck in there, Dave, I don't know if you picked this up, is we are against the regime. And what the regime has done in a legitimate war against us for half a century. That's all true. And the fact that we want to make a separation between the regime and the Iranian people, good. That's a good thing to do. It almost gets lost after the first couple sentences, I feel, though. Right.
It's hard to continue to read when you say a whole civilization will die tonight and to never be brought back again. It's definitely some verb. I mean, I agree that... it's a difficult war for me to even say anything on, because like I said yesterday, it's no new wars, but it's a war that's been going on. 47 years over there. These people have been horrific and just wiping out their own people.
And you go back to Donald Trump, 1980 was talking about this publicly. This has been something that's been on Trump's mind since we have known him in the public eye.
And Islam extremism is a cancer.
I agree.
And it's really bad.
It is.
So I understand that element of it. I don't know if we should destroy everyone.
No, not even just the people, the whole civilization, because that's more than just the people, I feel like. We're talking about infrastructure. We're talking about history. It's a sheet of glass, I think, is what he's about to describe.
They're gonna sully that ground, so you cannot plant another tree.
You can't bring it back.
There's not going to be another. Tonight's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's a fascinating thing to see him do this, because look, we've all just crossed this line together where this is kind of normal. Like when you read that, you would never see a statement like that from any other president.
Well, that doesn't sound presidential to you.
It doesn't sound like something you could picture, a Roosevelt blurting out in a fireside, right? It doesn't seem like that. Yet
sitting in his wheelchair, in his polio chair. Was that the right one, or was that Teddy?
You're FDR.
Polio, didn't he?
Yeah. No, FDR is the one
FDR is the one that
you're thinking of. And I just said Roosevelt generally, but yes,
FDR had the polio, though.
Yeah, I
wanted to make sure I was right.
Historians here.
They wiped out polio.
Of them. They did do that. Yes.
Not for him.
They were like, yeah, screw you.
Once he was gone.
Yeah. My point here is, there's so much. There's a bunch of stuff in that tweet that I would not myself push on. I wouldn't say, Donald, please add this in. But there is something that makes it real. The question is, does he follow through with this stuff? There's a lot that we like about Donald Trump that is a version of that message, because he's willing to say anything. He'll go to those places that a lot of us feel but don't want to say. And we're used to our politicians being wormy about it and not just blurting out what the truth is. On the other hand, there are times where, maybe a little more control over the things that you say might benefit you.
Yeah. My reality is I'm America first, and I am for our soldiers lives. I want them to live.
That's
and
good.
I don't want them to be shoved out into something that doesn't benefit us, or even, there's a lot of kids going out there now. And there's a lot of people in the military service, and I respect them very much, but I think it has to be a good reason. And this is definitely, that sounds a bit much.
I don't necessarily.
I don't know if it's.
I don't even think again, one of the things.
I don't think he means it. Right. It's like the same. Yeah, you can't really wipe out an entire civilization
and make sure it never returns. You can't do that.
Plus, they're good at returning. The whole place is sand, and somehow they all live there.
That's a good point. They're pretty resilient people.
Yeah, there's nowhere, there's nothing. You can't even grow food yet. They figured it out. The whole thing's just no water and camels and dirt. No, not dirt, sand.
Mm-hmm. You're not even going to get invited to the next Saudi Arabian.
I know. I want to go to the comedy festival, which I will say, if anybody wants to give me $1 million to go perform,
oh my God,
I'll perform.
He will whore himself out for way less.
Are you kidding? Yeah. Way less than that.
Yeah,
I'll perform for just the Taliban for $50,000. As long as they pinky promise I get to come home. You got to make sure to take the Taliban at their word, too.
That's very important.
I've always said that.
If you're looking to book Dave Landau for a gig with the Taliban, DaveLandau.com for all of his comedy gigs. By the way, he's got some coming up.
I do.
When are those, Dave? Do you know?
Yes, April 10th at the Comedy Attic in Columbus, Ohio. April 11th, the Roxy in Rochester Hills, Michigan. And April 17 and 18 at the Comedy Club in Lawrence, Kansas. And also, I will be performing in Iran. I'm sorry, what's left of Iran.
We'd say the Comedy Club, but almost definitely it's in rubble, or at least will be by tonight.
Yes, I'll be standing on a bunch of old bricks.
But it'll be great. It'll be a great show.
Some burnt turbans.
You'll love it.
Yes.
You'll love the show. Back in a second. Now, in my opinion, you're never too old to trick or treat or do an Easter egg hunt, because that means you're getting free candy.
That's true. Free candy's fair.
Why would you stop doing that? It's a dumb activity to stop as you get older.
No, free candy is acceptable anytime.
Yes, agreed.
Unless you're diabetic and someone's giving it to you so you die.
Yes, okay. You found the one. That is one of the. Yeah. Well, I actually have another example potentially of that coming up here in a moment, where you might not want the candy. But first of all, let me tell you, sometimes when you're doing an Easter egg hunt, some things happen. Now, kids are out. Picture this, Dave. They're out there. They're doing they're out in the field, going through the woods. They're looking for their Easter eggs. I don't know how seriously you really try to hide them. I feel like now it's kind of just a sprint. Everyone picks up as many eggs as they want. That's the way this is developed. It used to be, I think, you're really hunting for these things.
Yeah, then people get caught in refrigerators, and it's a lot of mess.
Yes. You have a lot of stories from your neighborhood that might equal something.
No problems.
So these particular children were going around. They were looking for eggs. They found something that kind of looked like an egg, started digging to kind of get to the sides of it, realized it was bigger than an egg.
Okay.
Eventually, we were able to remove this from the dirt and discovered what they had actually found was a human skull.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Hey, kids, what'd you get? I got some Reese's, some Kit Kat, and Natalie Holloway.
This is Aruba?
You just found a Hoffa.
Yeah. You remember that Easter?
Yeah, that was.
You do.
It was a good Easter.
That's an Easter you don't forget.
Yeah, the mob made me throw it in an incinerator and not bring it up ever again.
Ever again. And no, it's a day about coming back from the dead. Not too much hope for the skull that you find on the Easter egg hunt.
That did not.
No. Now, you mentioned before, there's never a time, ever, where the candy is not welcome, with the exception of the diabetic murder plot.
Correct.
I believe is a Lifetime movie.
Chocolatey hostel.
This might be the minor exception to that story.
Okay.
Particularly if your kids are out for an Easter egg hunt. You want to find chocolate. A lot of times you do in an Easter egg hunt. But you hope you don't get this particular chocolate. Why? Well, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has announced a recall on a certain type of chocolate. The company is Gear Isle chocolates. They contain potentially life-threatening amounts of sildenafil and tadalafil commonly used to treat erectile dysfunction, or basically Viagra.
Oh, no.
There's a bunch of Viagra in the chocolate. Now, this might be exciting for some, but maybe not the thing you want to be giving to your kids on an Easter egg hunt.
Well, that's something that rose from the dead. Is it? So this is a life-threatening amount of Viagra?
Yeah, what is a life-threatening amount? Do you know?
don't think there. I don't know if there's been a life-threatening erection since John Holmes. Or Freddie Mercury. Yeah. He had life-threatening erections as well.
Oh, no.
Let's see if I can do another Liberace joke 2 days in a row.
Yes.
He also had life.
Yeah, so we are 2 for 2 on AIDS jokes per show, like one per show.
3 AIDS jokes.
Oh, 3? Okay.
That's a trifecta.
Okay.
Well,
Can we keep a count, Adam, on how many AIDS jokes we get to on the program? So we know for science.
It's either chocolatey Viagra or a penis in the 80s.
Could be either one.
Lethal erections.
I will say this, though, Dave. The 2 products listed in the recall are Gold Lion Aphrodisiac Chocolate Male Enhancement Chocolate and Ilum Sex Chocolate Male Sexual Enhancement Booster.
Yeah, that's what I gave out for Halloween.
Okay.
I always do.
Do they come in the movie bag sizes?
Yes, they do.
Okay, good.
Yes.
All right, back in a second. This message is sponsored by Lean. It's interesting how quickly something can go from sounding extreme to feeling completely normal, because not that long ago, a weekly injection to lose weight would have raised a lot of eyebrows, but now kind of it's every celebrity you know. These options, of course, exist because people want real results, and maybe you don't love that idea, though, of injections, and you still want to drop a few pounds. If you're not thrilled about some of the side effects you've heard about, maybe you just want something that fits more naturally into your everyday routine. That's where Lean comes in. It's a doctor-formulated supplement designed to support weight loss by helping balance blood sugar, curb appetite, and encourage your body to burn stored fat and energy because, it's specifically built for people who have more than just a few pounds to lose and are looking for a more sustainable approach. To get you started right now with 20% off and free rush shipping so you can add Lean to your healthy diet and exercise plan, go to takelean.com and enter the code Stu and Dave for your discount. The promo code is Stu and Dave, all one word, at takelean.com. BlazeTV is a great place to check out Stu and Dave Do America. This is only episode 2. Many more to come. By the way, you can save $45 off your annual subscription if you go to blazetv.com/Stu and Dave and use the code Stu and Dave 45. That's only going to be active for a couple more days. So go do it now. Save $45. Stu and Dave 45 is the code. blazetv.com/Stu and Dave, the place to go. Your comments coming in. Robert writes, I can't tell if this is the best first episode ever or if it's a disaster. And neither could we. Yep. What I can say, I've been laughing like crazy. Stu Unleashed and Dave are going off is comedy greatness. Thank you so much. B. Krupla writes, oh my God, this is a great mix. So loving it so far. The humor is just what we need. Great job, guys. Jocular Chaos, solid name. I can already tell this is going to be another show where I eagerly tune in for every episode. Thank you so much. Bobby Blanding, I like the team. Dave is great. Stu brings good balance. That's what we do here.
Balance.
Thank you, Bobby.
I'll read off a few. David Nightingale 146 says, my request for this show, more please. I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's what I meant to say. Thank you.
Thank you. More thank yous.
Mary Burmeister 3952 says, glad to see you two having fun and sharing with us your wit, insights, and wisdom. Wisdom, not a lot for me. JZ6980 says, great job, guys. It's going to be fun. Dave, glad to see you're back, bud. We'll catch you at the Roxy. And if people want to, they can. They can catch me at the Roxy in Rochester, April 11th in Rochester Hills, Michigan. Michael Loftus will be joining me on that show. April 10th, Columbus, Ohio, and April 17, 18, Lawrence, Kansas.
All right. Thanks for joining us. DaveLandau.com for those dates. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.